The unmistakable face of BMW, the kidney grills that are so famous worldwide. But this is not any ordinary BMW. This is the current latest 7 Series, released earlier this year. It's the large flagship of the range, and you can see it is a big 4-door sedan, but it's meant to be opulence in the extreme. Lovely long lines, flowing lines, through to mag wheels, which are obviously all standard, and then round to a boot, which is maybe a bit smaller than one would expect, at approximately 280 litres, but it does have space. And just zooming in to some information on the car itself, it's a 740i, which means it's got a 3-litre 6-cylinder engine, putting out 240 kilowatts and a massive 450 newton meters of torque. Lots and lots of extras, of course, on this car, which is very, very important. The price has gone up slightly since this figure over here. It's approximately 1.38 million standard, and then you've got about 400,000. So you're looking at about 1.75 million for this car as it stands. Spare wheel in the boot? Well, that's a story all of its own, which I'll come to in a few moments. Of course, being a flagship type car, you want to close the boot, you press that little button, and it does it all by itself for you. And there you see the name 740i and those two mean looking exhausts at the back. I'm sitting in a very, very special place right now, behind the wheel of a BMW 730i. The fact of the 7 Series BMW is that BMW use it as their test bed for all their latest electronics, all the latest innovations, and even safety features on a vehicle. So they are always launched first on a 7 Series and then filtered down through the range. ABS brakes originated on cars of this level, just for example. You've got the most unbelievable safety systems built in. You've got pedestrian detection, which actually shows you when there's a pedestrian within the perimeter of the car, and it comes up and gives you warning. It's got active braking. It's got all of these features that you would expect, plus so many more. It's also got, of course, a heads-up display for you as well, that if you have a look on your windscreen in front of the driver, it gives you your speed and the speed limit, which is an interesting one and quite fascinating. The speed shows 0 at the moment in white. If you exceed the speed limit on the section of road that you're traveling on, it actually changes to red, so you immediately know that you're speeding. You can see the dashboard with all the information you can possibly want as well, and then you go over to the very large, wide infotainment touchscreen, which is on navigation right now, but at the touch of a button you can go to menu, and you've got your media, you've got your communication, you've got connected drive, you have everything you possibly want, every system, because of course this car also comes standard with a full BMW connected drive services, and again I'll mention that in a few moments. Flappy paddles if you do want to play with them while you're driving, but this is really a car I feel for cruising, so I'm not so sure, but it's got it. It's got obviously electric seats adjustable in every direction you possibly want, and then it's got a lovely feature, a button over here on the door, that when you press this little button over here, it goes over there and it sets up a massage function for driver and passenger. And in fact, even for backseat passengers, you have, that's the kind of luxuries and features you have on this car. BMW's 8-speed automatic gearbox, which is just sublime. It really is. And of course, you've got your adaptive modes for the gearbox and for the drivetrain, from Eco to Comfort to Sport and Sport Plus. And in the Sport modes, you even have personalization options or the standard options, which will allow you to set gearing, will allow you to set functions like the weight of the steering and all of those as well. So it really, absolutely, there is just nothing lacking on a car like that. Another incredible feature it's got is it's got the new swipe control function on the entertainment system, for example, and I can simply increase the volume by making a motion like that, and you hear the sound coming up on the sound system. So it's got all this new technology. You've got, of course, your BMW controller, the iDrive controller over here. Too many things have been said in the past regarding the fact that it's set up for left-hand drive and not right-hand drive. Something, you know what, you just have to live with. Then something else amazing, particularly on the 7 Series, is you open up here And there's a little docking port to charge, because this is the key for the 7 Series. And it's actually an electronic key, if I tell you that much. And you press a button, for example, it pops the boot, and there you see it shows you electronically that the boot is just opened. So it has all these functions built into the key. You can just slide up and it shows you everything you want to know as well on the car. So it's all, and as it says, connected, which is so important. But when you're not using it, or when you're driving, you simply dock it in there, and of course that charges it while you're driving. But having said all this about the 7 Series, is it not perhaps a car for a backseat passenger to be driven in? Let's take a look what life would be like in the back of this car. The bottom line is, if you think you're being indulged as a driver in a 7 Series, boy oh boy, wait till you're a rear seat passenger. More than adequate headroom. Obviously there's legroom, but there are so many features that you get. Built into the armrest at the back is this tablet over here, which allows you to adjust the interior lighting in the car, for example, and you can increase the brightness of the interior lighting. Or you can go back again and you can go to climate control, you can go to seats. You have all of those because you can just move your seats and adopt a different position on the seats that you've preset. It has all of those. It even has, if you want, the massage function on the rear seats as well, so you can have your massage while you're driving in the rear. It's got all of those. It's also got infotainment, entertainment screens for 2 rear seat passengers on the back of the 2 front seats, so you have those functions as well. I would say built far more for 2 in the back than 3, but it does have space for 3 if you want. But just look at that dashboard as well, the lighting on the dashboard when you're there. So this car really is a car that separate climate control, dual zone in the rear as well. Everything that the executive could desire. I mentioned earlier an interesting feature or factor of our test of this car is BMWs come with run flat tires. That is a standard feature on all BMWs in South Africa these days. We happen to have a tire issue today, and unfortunately it was an issue relating to the rim as well. It was a fairly sudden deflation, so we couldn't run on the run flat. It gave me the opportunity to test BMW on call. As a customer, I only identified that it was a media fleet car afterwards, but I called them out. On a Sunday morning, it took them an hour to come from Centurion, to go to the factory, to locate a wheel for our use, to come and fit that wheel on the car for me. That's BMW on call for you. Yes, when you buy this car, you get the 5-year maintenance plan, but you get so much more because you get service like that BMW on call added in. That's called peace of mind. That's called additional peace of mind and functionality that money virtually cannot buy. Overall, yes, there is competition for a car like this. You do have the S-Class Mercedes I've mentioned. You do have the Jaguar XJ, and you do have the Lexus LS, just as a few examples. The Audi A8 would come into it too. All I can say is, if you want the latest in technology, if you want the ultimate in motoring, you owe it to yourself to check out these cars, and particularly this BMW 740i. I would have it on my shortlist if I was buying a car in this range. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R. I'll see you next time.